there's some things, some improvements that can be made in terms of efficiency and the way meetings are called, and the clarity needs to be given when it comes to things like when a meeting is called, how long can it be that a meeting is no longer maybe relevant. Not to say that the members of parliament that called the meeting and say this is not relevant, but I say this for this reason. This meeting was called on April the 20th of this year. April, May, June, July, August. We are now at August the 13th, almost half a year, and we're almost now going past the hurricane season. We are in the peak of the hurricane season, and now we have the meeting regarding hurricane preparedness. I can't imagine this being an ideal situation. I'm not going to even wonder what's at fault or what might have gone wrong, but I do need to ask, what is the reason that this meeting took so long to be convened? Was it an issue with us being able to get the ministers present, or what is the reasoning with regards to this? Because if a meeting is to be fruitful and the members of parliament want to actually get information and get progress and express their ideas as to what we need to do better in terms of hurricane preparedness, it would have been ideal if even a month later, May 20th, and it's still before the hurricane season, that this meeting would have taken place. Now it feels like, well, we're just getting the meeting done, but I don't know about the effectiveness of the meeting. That doesn't sit so well with me. So nonetheless, I still look forward to getting some of this update. Madam Chair, the other issue I do want to ask is with regards to, we of course understand and received a notice from the Prime Minister, also some clarity from the Council of Ministers in their plan of approach when it comes to ministers not being able to attend meetings and their replacements coming in their stead. This perhaps might not be the best situation, maybe because it was a last minute situation, so I do understand that. But as a general note, that ministers do understand that there are replacement ministers who can represent them. So we look forward to that, at least our faction looks forward to that happening more often to make sure meetings take place. Madam Chair, I'm going to start by, interestingly, this meeting was called and in a report was released by the Ombudsman. And one of the statements in the report is government is not sufficiently prepared for the effective prevention of major consequences a hurricane may have on the public of St. Martin and to deal with same in the aftermath of a possible disaster. So I'm going to just start here because before I ask the members of the Council of Ministers, how prepared are we for hurricanes, I'm already reading reports saying, answering the question for us. I know the report was handed on August the 7th, so there hasn't been that much time for the ministers to peruse this, but if they have, if I can get any indications as to whether they agree with this report, to what extent they agree with this report, that in my opinion, from me having read it over the weekend, it paints a very bleak picture that we're actually no better than we were last year. And one of the things we would have expected, having gone through a change of government, an election, a new Council of Ministers, is at least let's see some improvement in this regard. But unfortunately, at least according to the Ombudsman, it appears that no, we are not better prepared. As a matter of fact, we may actually be even in a worse position than we were last year in terms of hurricane preparedness. One of the issues that we see that has come up, and various MPs have asked this question regarding the shelters. What is the situation, and have we finally come up to the definitive list and locations and plan of approach for hurricane shelters? Was there any, I remember a question was posed during the budget debate to the ministers at the time. Have we communicated with the ministers or the state secretaries? I believe it was the state secretary that mentioned that, no, I guarantee you, St. Martin has shelters, it's going to be fine, everything is good. Have we communicated with them since to find out, well, is that, if that's the case, did they have a plan? Or did they get this indication from the Council of Ministers at the time? I would really like to know what went wrong there, because I don't think, we know for a fact at the time that the statement was said, the shelters were not ready. Getting an update today as to what the status is and whether maybe in speaking to the state secretary since then there was some clarification in that regard. Um, Another thing, Madam Chair, in terms of the state of emergency, I've read a bit about and also the Ombudsman report and some of the deficiencies in that law. I would like to know if the Council of Ministers has also sought any improvements or ideas within their ministries as to any proposals, as to any adjustments that should be made there. I can remember for a fact, being a civil servant at the time, there was no clear feeling, even as a department head, or understanding as to what exactly it meant when we are in a state of emergency. Because suddenly things that, as a department head or as a civil servant, I was accustomed to doing or being told to do, everything changes, which is understandable because it's not now the norm, it's a state of emergency. In that regard, have we since communicated to the civil service, including police officers, immigration officers, people that work in the government building, people that are extensions of government, has information gone out to clarify what it means to be in a state of emergency and what this actually has to do with their ability to work?
Tell them, connecting you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
As the people know, we requested additional budgetary support for the first quarter of 2018. The process went well. The Kingdom Council of Ministers approved based on advice of the CFT. As we speak, we are kind of finalizing the protocol where it is concerned that we need to find out how fast the monies can be transferred to our accounts. The advice to that is at the Council of Advice right now, and then it needs to be passing through the Parliament also to inform them of the status. So hopefully by the end of this month, the additional 32.6 million guilders will be added to the coffers of Country St. Martin. Then a little update on our tax department. In one of my first addresses to the people, I made mention of the fact that the tax department needs to be upgraded seriously. As we speak, there is a team present on St. Martin conducting a quick scan of the situation at the tax department. One of the focuses is how to improve the digital, the computer system, the system with which we have to work to make sure that our data that we have is being worked well with. We need to do a serious cleanup of our data files. So that is being conducted this Friday. There will be a preliminary presentation done by this team here in the government building, after which probably next week I will give you a further update on the findings. The system that we are using at the tax department is almost obsolete. It is not functional, and it does not deliver what we are supposed to bring in from taxes. We cannot afford our tax department to lag behind in the development, the redevelopment of the country. I will keep you further informed going along the way. Then on the moving out of the receiver's office from the government building to their old or the former facility that they were in. Our facility management department is diligently working at refurbishing the building. The report was that we need an additional 3 to 4 weeks before they can move in, and that goes also for the census part and the post office, if I'm not mistaken, Prime Minister, but I'm guessing the Prime Minister will inform me thereof. Then also in my first address to the people, I made mention of the fact that my ministry was embarking on a project which was called the Financial Recovery Plan for St. Martin. I can tell you that I will need another 2 weeks before I can present this plan to you. The concept is already finished, the first concept, and it's being reviewed right now. Maybe a little bit more on the details of the recovery plan, because I don't want any misunderstanding to arise from the wording of this plan. We have a governing program which sets the road clear for us, where to, how to, and the direction that the government is supposed to take. This is in addition to that where it concerns the Ministry of Finance. It's time, and I think that everyone would agree, that the financial management of Country St. Martin is in dire need of improvement, and this plan will just do that, or focus on the improvement of our financial management. Then, in closing, we still need to appoint a member to the CFT. Yesterday I had a meeting with a proposed member, the member of which I, at this point in time, cannot disclose the name, but the offer to be a member of the CFT was accepted. We are now working out the administrative part of it. Once that is been settled, I will inform the public in general. Then we also have a kingdom project soon to be started, that is to the evaluation of the kingdom law for the financial supervision of countries Curacao and St. Martin. Also on that committee we need to appoint a member and a supportive staff member. A member is also identified, still awaiting the final approval and final acceptance to that position. Once that is done, I will further inform you on the name of the person that will represent St. Martin in that committee.
Hey, Ma. How you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Windward Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you're for.
Tell them, connecting you.
My name is Caroline, and this is...
My name is Sanne Gruiters.
And we are very grateful to be invited to talk here about hurricane stress. We're from the Association of Psychologists and Allied Professionals St. Martin. And in 2016 we were established, but shortly after the hurricane we came together and thought, hey, we should ask for more information or provide more information about this topic. And this is one of the PSAs that we created shortly, but is still needed to be heard.
Okay, so now I know how you're all doing? I don't know. How often do we ask ourselves that question? How often do you ask your family, your friends, your neighbors, people on the street, tourists, because we are a friendly island. But then what do we know? What answer do you get? We're good. Not too bad. Okay. But do you really know how the other person is feeling? Do you know how you are feeling today, tomorrow, when you wake up? How do you know? How can you feel in your body? What does your body tell you? Some people, when they experience stress, they suffer headaches, stomach aches, and they visit their family doctor. I don't know, maybe you eat something wrong, or what could be the case? Maybe you just don't feel well. Maybe you're just too busy. Maybe you're suffering stress. The importance is that in preparing for the hurricane season, but not only hurricane season, I think it's important to do in life, is to learn to signal stress before it's becoming too big and you can't handle it anymore. Learn to signal it within yourself, but also important people around you. When we ask ourselves or the other person, how are you doing? Is that a question to ask? Maybe we can ask some more. Like, what did you do today? And how did you experience that? Was it something you thought about yesterday or maybe weeks before? How did this day make you feel at work? There's so many questions to ask. What does your child need? What does your child want to do when it's feeling stressed? It wants to play outside. What is it like to play outside? Just be outside? What are the parents doing? Are the parents sitting inside, playing on their cell phone, internet, social media? Do we really look at each other how we feel? I think those are questions we would like you to ask yourself when you are sitting here in the audience, but also when you go home and have that chat together. When you're having dinner, what do you talk about? About the weather? Or maybe some deeper questions. And there are a lot of questions you can ask each other. So talk about feelings. In our work as psychologists, I think I can talk for my colleagues as well. We see a lot of children, but adult people as well, who have a difficulty to talk about feelings. They're not used to it. And I think we'll have to make a change in that. So by creating awareness, we would like you to stop and sit and think about this, about feelings. How do you listen to each other and care about each other? There are a lot of people sitting in this room who can help us with that. And please visit our table so we can inform you more.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Hi, what's up, St. Martin? My name is Rene Leverett, and I play baseball. And I have represented St. Martin in numerous international tournaments and professionally around the world. Sports matters to me because it reveals and develops character. So I challenge the business community to step up for sports and help us rebuild and repair our facilities. I also ask the community to nominate local businesses in your area to take the challenge and step up for sports. Because #sports matters, # are you in?
1,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4,
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
My name is Shamar Thomas and I represented St. Martin for swimming. My experience was very good. I enjoyed it very much. I met a lot of people. I was very happy to represent St. Martin for the first time, being the first swimmer for St. Martin to qualify to go for the CSE Games. I also, enjoyed and experienced the level. The level is very high. I swam against all the swimmers are Olympic swimmers, and it was my first time there. And I only had 2 years preparation, and of course with all the circumstances such as Irma, I think I did pretty well. So I enjoyed it. It was a good experience.
My experience was good. Can I say it's my 3rd CSE Games. Well, judo is different. It's very difficult. To qualify alone is difficult, but I made it. And when you reach into that kind of level of training, it's I'm going to say it's hard, but it's intense because the pressure that you get, especially to represent your country, is a feeling that I think only I could feel, no one else could feel. But besides the injuries that I had and I compete, I lost, but I also learned that I know that when I'm going up with the best, I gotta go 150 to represent. But it was an honor to represent my country, and I hope that I can encourage more of my people here on the island to join and to go out there to represent.
My name is Wilfred Chittick. I was glad, I'm proud of Bill, proud of everybody for being here. I'm glad that I was to the CXC Games. I didn't do well in my games, but I had a very good experience. I meet a lot of new competitions, and I was proud, and I meet a lot of new people. Everything went good. My training was not sufficient, but everybody made sure that I was trying my best to go, and I make sure that my training and everything will be good, and I thank everybody that pushed me this far, and I'll try my best to go 150. I'll even go 160, higher than Michael, and try my best.